Welcome to Asphalt Talk, a podcast by and for asphalt professionals. Join our expert hosts as they tackle real industry issues to pave a smoother way for asphalt suppliers and producers. This podcast is sponsored by MAPA, the Missouri Asphalt Pavement Association. Founded to promote quality and accountability, MAPA has been serving the asphalt producers of Missouri since 1990. And now a public service announcement from our sponsor, May Create Design. Google Translate doesn't work for web designer to paving company translations. You say hot mix and it thinks you're talking about the latest snack craze. Wouldn't it be nice to work with a designer who knows the difference between binders and bitumen? Work with folks who have been speaking your language for the past 17 years. Visit maycreate.com. That's M-A-Y-E create.com. Because if you think your website sucks, so does everyone else.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Asphalt Talk. I'm your host, Dale Williams with Missouri Asphalt Pavement Association. Today, we're sitting down with Christian Okoye, former running back for the Kansas City Chiefs and keynote speaker for the 2024 MAPA Annual Conference. Christian, it's great to talk with you today, and I look forward to our discussion to learn a little bit about yourself and a preview of what the MAPA Annual Conference attendees can expect to hear from you. So I guess, first of all, Christian, the atmosphere at Arrowhead Stadium is really hard to describe. How was it for you the first time you stepped on the field as a player?
Well, as a player, stepping on the Arrowhead Stadium was extremely different for me, of course, coming from Nigeria and going to a small school in California, Azusa Pacific, where I played in front of 1,500 fans coming to Arrowhead Stadium, where, the noise of the fans is just shaking the whole stadium, they can't even hear yourself talk. It was extremely different, and it took a while for me to adjust to, of course.
So during your career, you had the opportunity to play with some of the all-time great Chiefs like Derek Thomas, Neil Smith, Nick Lowry, Naron Cherry, Dan Saliamua. That's just to name a few. Who was your favorite teammate?
Oh, my goodness. I loved all my teammates, I tell you, because knowing that I was very young in football. Before I got to the Chiefs, I only played for 3 years. These guys, they all took me in. They all helped me out. And they knew the fact that I didn't play for very long. I was still young and playing football. Everybody pitched in to help me out, the coaches. So they're all my friends, Even last night, we went to Third and Long Foundation dinner. Third and Long being the foundation that Derek Thomas started when he was alive. It is still going on, just to show you the passion that we have here in Kansas City for our players. And it still goes on. I'm on the board. So we're over there honoring a few people, including Carl Peterson. Neil Smith was there. Bill Mars was there, of course, and so many other players. Even the older guys, Bobby Bell was there too, along with Jan Steinrud and a few others. Just to show you the relationship that we have for each other. The ones that I played with, Bill Mars, Darren Cherry, we talk all the time. We work together through our foundations. Jonathan Hayes, who is not living here in Kansas City, I talk to him all the time. Barry Ward, who I played with, I talk to him all the time. When I do my foundation events here in Kansas City, they all show up, So we have great relationship, all of them.
Well, that's neat that you built long-lasting relationships, and everybody still gets back together. So yes. On the other side of the ball, who was maybe the most challenging player or team you faced during your career?
Well, an opponent that did play for the Chiefs, of course. When I played, we played in a single back offense. I was the main focus of the offense. So everybody targeted me, so they all challenges, all of them, because every time I touch the ball, they all want to kill me, you see. So and I knew that, so I played like I knew that because I had to defend myself, you see, especially when you play within the division, when you play against the Raiders, the Broncos, and the Seahawks back then. and the San Diego Chargers, of course. Now the LA Chargers. Every time we play within the division, it was always tough. It's like playing a playoff game. So I can't single out one particular guy because all the defenses were challenges for me.
I certainly understand that. During your career, is there one particular game or play that stands out to you?
I have a few. One is that in 1989, we went to Seattle to play the Seahawks, and that place was very, very noisy, very loud, and the field was extremely bad. The turf was so bad, it has folds on it. And I remember two incidents. One was I was running the ball, and I tripped over the fold, and I was catching myself. And one of the linebackers, I can't remember who it was, hit me on my right shoulder and dislocated my shoulder. And the ligament actually, ripped off a part of the bone. And my shoulder was hanging like this, I ran to the sideline, the trainers popped it back in, and I went back in and finished the game. For the rest of the season, I learned how to put my shoulder back in because it always pops out every time I hit somebody. So that's one incident. Second incident was same city. Because it was so noisy, quarterback always calls two plays. We get to the line of scrimmage, you change the plays, whether it's right or left. And that I never hear him. And I say, Steve, just let me know what you're calling, which side you're going. If you're going to the right, because I cannot hear you, I'm 8 yards deep, give me a sign, shake your leg or something like that. Tell me which side we're going. But you always forget. And one player, we were on the 11-yard line going in to score. And of course, he forgot to tell me which side. And I guessed right. So I was going right, and everybody was pulling left. By the time I realized and came back, got the ball, all the blocks were taking place, So I ran 8 guys over and scored.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was like, at the top of my thing. So that's one. And then the second one was playing the Miami Dolphins here in Kansas City. We got the kickoff ball on the 20-yard line. I started running the ball, and I ran it like, I think it was 6 times. The 7th time I touched the ball, I scored. That particular play that I scored on, the defense never touched me. I just went through the line and scored. And Schuler, who was the coach for the Miami Dolphins, every time I see him, he says, Christian, he puts his arms around my shoulder. Christian, I got to tell you, I saw the best run play ever in my whole entire career. And he would describe the play every time, And one time after I retired, I started working with the military. We were in Miami. I took some of the boys, about 17 of them, to the Super Bowl with all my partners. And we went to Schuler's restaurant, his steakhouse. And somebody told me that Coach was there having dinner with his family. So I went in there and said, Coach, if you don't mind, after you finish your dinner, can you come out and say hello to the guys? And I explained to him who I was with. He said, sure. I'll be over there, Christian. So I went back to the guys and I told them, I said, hey, I bet you guys, when the coach comes out, he's going to tell you a story about one play I had against Miami. They said, yeah, right. He came out and everybody said, Coach, he said, hold on, everybody. Listen, I got to explain to you. I got to talk to you about this one play by Christian Okoye in Kansas City. And everybody looked at me. How did you know he was going to say that? So that was one, so I always remember that, and I tell that story all the time.
That's awesome. So who's probably been the most important professional mentor you've had during your career?
Oh, man, I have so many. First of all, my very first coach in Nigeria by the name of Patrick Anokwa. He was the one that actually convinced my dad that I had some talent. He begged him. He told my dad, I'll come pick him up. and I'd drop him off to make sure he's home, because I was like crazy with sports. I played soccer all the time. So he was one. And then, of course, going to Azusa Pacific, my track coach, Terry Franson, he actually took me in as a dad, because I left my home in Nigeria, left my family back home. And then my football coach, Jim Milhon, in Azusa Pacific. Then coming to Kansas City, Billy Matthews was my position coach when I first got here, and he treated me like one of his sons, you see. And then, of course, when Marty came, Marty realized that I haven't played football for very long, only 5 years before he got here, ever. And he treated me as such, and he was very gentle with me and, supported me and guided me throughout the time that he coached me.
Yeah, I don't really want to steal much thunder from your presentation, but, when I was researching kind of your career, I was amazed that you never touched a football or played football organized until what was maybe your junior year in college or sophomore year.
Yeah, junior year in college, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing that you never played football until you were a junior in college and went on to have an awesome NFL career. That's really amazing. When you look at the sports world today, I've got a couple of young kids. We do all the travel sports and all the time spent on that, and trying to reach that next level. And
exactly.
So you mentioned your foundation a little bit earlier. Can you tell us a little bit about the Christian Okoye Foundation?
Yes, yesterday I was telling folks at the dinner about my foundation, and I told them, I said, I actually was inspired after arriving to Kansas City and seeing the work that ambassadors do in Kansas City. Walter White was the head of it. Walter White and Carl Peterson actually started the ambassadorship here in Kansas City, which is going strong in Kansas City. No other team in the NFL has ambassadors like we do. We raise a lot of money. We help a lot of charities in Kansas City area. So when I started my foundation, I started working with inner city kids, kind of try to inspire them like I was inspired when I was young by Coach Anukwa. Just showing them the ways how they can improve their lives through sports. So that's what my foundation does. We've been doing that since 1990 and still going on today. We have Christmas shopping with kids, which is coming up December 9th here in Kansas City. We're going to take about 228 kids, giving them $200 each to go over there and buy whatever they want. And these are kids that don't get the opportunity to have, celebrate Christmas like other kids, you see. So, and another thing that I do is that part of the money that I raise here in Kansas City through my roast events that I do every April, I have a program also in Nigeria, year-round program for the kids. I have 3 guys who are working the program every Saturday. They're working with about 200, 250 kids year-round. So those are the things that I'm doing just because I was inspired by a lot of people in my life. Somebody helped me out there, so I got to help somebody else.
That is awesome that you're committed to that same thing that inspired you. Do you get back to Nigeria often?
I haven't gone back in a few years, but I plan to go back this spring. Yeah, to see the program going. Yeah.
You still have family over there?
Yes, I do. I still have family. Yeah, I still do.
So talking about some of these younger athletes, what's one piece of advice you'd give to an athlete trying to make it to the college or professional level?
All I got to tell them is hard work, just work, keep working, don't try to, show anybody that you're a good athlete. All you have to do is work hard and people will see your hard work and see the results. Because that's what I did. I went to a very small school. We didn't play on TV and still I was seeing, you see. So hard work is everything. If you can perfect your work, people will see your hard work and see the results, and you'll be successful.
So what's one thing that most people in the sports world don't know about you?
Let me see. Well, I would say the hard work part of it, because people don't know how hard I work in everything that I do. You know, whether it's playing football or working with kids, my foundation and stuff like that. I learned that from my father. You know, if you want to succeed in life, you have to work extremely hard on the things that you want to have. And I try to teach that to my own kids. That hard work just trumps everything. You know, it just overrides everything. Because if you don't, nothing is given to us. You see, that's my motto.
That's good advice. Can you give the audience a little preview of your keynote message that you'll be delivering at the conference on January 9th?
Yes, all these I'll be talking about. You know, I'll be talking about my life and you know what I've learned in my life. You know, throughout my career and people that I've met. You know, I'm just going to relay the messages that I have, because I believe that if it helped me, it's going to help somebody else.
Great. We really look forward to hearing that. So as we wrap up here, do you have any parting thoughts you'd like to share?
Well, I'm just looking forward to being with you guys. I'm looking forward to it. Every time I stand in front of a group, it's a good opportunity to bless others with your life and worship, you know, with others, you see. So it's an opportunity to spread the word and kind of help others, you know, because you don't learn by just sitting in one place in your room. You learn by listening to the others and communicating with others. So that's what I will do.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today, Christian. And I'd like to say thank you for listening to Asphalt Talk, the podcast by and for asphalt professionals. If you enjoyed listening and learned something, please leave us a review. Your review will help us connect with other professionals like yourself so we can keep the conversation going.
1992 called, they want their website back. Stop apologizing for your crappy site and stop working with that company who thinks hot mix is the latest snack craze. Work with folks who have been speaking your language for the past 17 years. And get a website that's not a gigantic pain in the you-know-what to build. Visit mayecreate.com, that's M-A-Y-E create.com for a free consultation and quote. Because if you think your website sucks, so does everyone else.